This tutorial is sponsored by Patreon. Thank you all for your support. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I want to remake the main menu system. So we already have a main menu series going on, but I wanted to include modular buttons and everything that you should know to make your main menu look really good. So we're gonna have two variants. The one is gonna be with the image background, and the second one is gonna be with the live camera in the level. So let's go and start. Basically, it's easy to customize those two, and it's one click to change. So the fundamentals are the same. So right now I'm in the third-person template. So if you are in your project, first thing that you want is let's create a new folder, call it the main menu. And this main menu is gonna have main menu map. That's gonna be our main menu level. So this main menu level is gonna have its own game mode and the player controller. That's how it's gonna work. So let's just create a blueprint class, player controller, and call it main menu player controller. And let's create blueprint class, game mode, main menu, game mode. So obviously this is main menu for the single player right now, but it could be expanded. But if you are creating a multiplayer game, just select instead of game mode base, go with the game mode only, not the base, because it has more functions for multiplayer. But that's for another story. Okay, so in the main menu PC, we will activate the UI, but this UI needs to be made. So right click, user interface, widget blueprint, main menu UI. So now inside of your player controller, at least that's how I do, and I think it's the best way to do it. Instead of creating another player character, we're just gonna, from the main menu player controller, we're gonna create widget. And the widget that we are gonna create is main menu. This main menu is gonna be added to viewport, like that. But what I want to do before that is first we are gonna get player controller, and from this player controller we want to do two things. So first thing is set show mouse cursor, and this is basically gonna allow us to have the mouse cursor on the screen, and because we are already in player controller, we can just leave it as a self. Also, we can set input UI, and we can also set it to self because we are already in the main menu player controller. And we have our widget now printing on the screen whenever we start play in the main menu level. But first, when we created main menu level, we need to go to the world settings, and if you don't have world settings, just go to the window and get world settings. In the game mode override, we're gonna select main menu game mode, and if we open selected game mode, HUD we can set to none, default pawn can be set to none, and the player controller is gonna be main menu player controller. Save that, and now if I open the main menu, I will be printing this UI, but there is nothing on UI. So first thing, I'm gonna create the variant with the image. So if you want the image, obviously we need canvas panel anyways to locate better things on the screen. And in my example, I'm gonna get the border, and I'm gonna, actually I can just get image, not border, sorry. And I'm gonna fill the screen with it. And offset is gonna be set to default to 0, and offset right bottom, so all four to 0. And we should have the image now. I'm gonna implement the image. So okay, so I added the image, and now in the brush, if we select image, in the brush we can select this image, or we can just click here, main menu, and click selected asset. So this is some simple picture from internet that I took from Freepik, just for the sake of the tutorial. And right now, if we press play, we're gonna have this image, right? But we cannot do anything there. So what we need to do is we can set the vertical box, something like this, and we can just align it, anchor it, so it always stays here, like that. But we don't have button yet, and we're gonna create one. Also, if you want to put some text on the screen, you can, obviously. You can bring image of your logo as well. I will just put this as a test. Horror game. And let's put it there. Something like this. You can really put it anywhere. I'm just a little bit adjusting it because of my OCD. Okay, so now if we press play, we have this horror game, right? We have no buttons yet. So what we need to do here is we need to create another user interface, widget blueprint, user widget, and call this master button UI. So basically you can go with the normal button and text, right? You can bring the button inside. Of course it works, but that's very bad way of creating things, because then you have to change every button you know, per each when you're creating a game, and that's not really useful. So I will show you how to be very effective today. So master button, we open that, we get size box. This is going to be the size of our button. Fill screen is going to be desired, like that. And make sure the width override and height override, I will set it as 250. So 200 width and 50 height, because it works the best for me. But this is going to be modular, and you're going to be able to change it at the end of this tutorial. So size box is going to be button size. It's going to be a variable. Then we're going to add a button like this, and we're going to add some text as well. Button is going to be just button underscore button, just for the better name convention, and text button underscore text. Make sure everything here is a variable, because we need to be able to get it from the graph, and if you don't select it as a variable, you're not going to be able to get it like from here. Okay, so this can stay like this. So now very important steps. We're going to get button size. Basically you can get anything you want to be modular, but for example we're going to get the size of the button to be modular right now. So from the button size we're going to set width override and connect it to preconstruct. And why preconstruct is because then we can check how it looks from the editor, and we don't have to go in game to see the change, because construct is made when the game is started and preconstruct before the game. Width override, we can just pull the line from it and promote to variable and call it button width, and make it instance editable, so click this eye. Also we're gonna set height override. You can double click and move it so it's nicer, something like this, and promote to variable the height one, button height. And very important thing is you need to set default values here. So 200 is going to be default for me for the width, and 50 for the height, just like that. So the button size is done. Sorry. Now let's get the text. We're gonna, from the button text, we're gonna set text, and in text is gonna be promote to variable and call button text. also editable, and it's going to be placeholder. This is default text that we're going to have. Trust me, you're going to be very thankful for this, because this is going to save you a lot of time, a lot. Button text, we can set font, and the font is going to be promoted to variable button text font, also editable in instance. And now let's get it default to be something Roboto, size 24, outline 1 for example. And we need also the set color and opacity. This is going to be the color of our text. In color and opacity, promote variable button text color. Also set as instance editable, and the button color is going to be by default red in my case. And now if we press designer, this is how our button looks like, because we didn't set up the button yet. Now we're going to button to change its color. So the button right now is gray, so set color, set background color. This is going to be the background color of the button. And we can promote the variable and call it button color and make it instance editable. Like that. So now we didn't set it its opacity, and let's say it's going to be a grayish a little bit like this. This is going to be default, so make sure opacity is going to be by default 0. So opacity needs to be 1 for your button to be seen. Okay, so as you can see now, we have this little outline on the button, and we can fix it from here. So when we go to the style, normal, we get to the outline settings, and we just put it to 0. And the corner radius 0, 0, 0. Or I just want it to be like this in the box, but you can make it like this, you know. Like you can put 15, 15, and then you get this kind of style. But I'm gonna put the 0 in this tutorial. Now we need to do hovered as well. So 0, 0, 0, 0, width 0, and for pressed 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So good thing about this is now if you put this button, it's automatically gonna have a little bit slighter color, slightly light when you hover it. I can put some examples here. As you can see, when we hover and we click, we get this effect without doing anything to it. So that's very cool. Okay, so now we have 3 buttons here. Let's make it 4. Like that. And let's make it fill. And the padding with all 4 selected, let's make it be 15. This is going to be start game. This is going to be, for example, options. This is going to be credits. Let's say this is going to be, oh, we need to make it a little bit bigger. Let's join our Discord and quit. Like this. So now if we press play, we have all these kind of buttons that we made. And I don't like how is this set here, so I'm gonna make it like that. My OCD is popping off, but yeah, in your case it's gonna be different because you're gonna have your game and all of that good stuff. So now we need to add some functionalities to this button, and how are we gonna do that is basically here in the master button we're gonna go and create event dispatcher that's gonna be called onClicked event. So this is gonna be called basically onClick. So if we select the button here in the designer and on-clicked, we're gonna pull this on-clicked event and we have click event. If you want to add a sound to your button, you will just play sound 2D and then you would put sound here, like this. So as you can see now, it's a proof that the dispatcher is working and doing its job. So now every button has its own functionality, right? So every button here needs to be a variable, because right now we have this on-click event, but if we disable the variable, we don't. So this has to be variable. Start game, start button. And on-click event, let's say it's gonna open level, I don't know which level is here in the template. Let's see, third person map. In your case, it's gonna be probably different something, but here for me it's third person map. For the options, I am not gonna cover the options because the video would get too long, and I'm not planning to cover options. Credits, you would just I'm not planning to cover the you know, the widget switchers, the options and stuff. I just want to show you how to create the main menu functionality, like adding it to screen, making the customizable buttons, but not the backend, if you understand. Join our Discord. So if you want to send a player to the link, you can just, so let's say Discord button. I could just on-click the event, launch URL, and for example, I could put my Discord here, right? For example, I'm gonna do this with my YouTube channel, like this, and on quit, that's pretty simple. We just quit the game. So on-click the event, quit game. So now let's test how it works. We have start game. If we press start, we're gonna load, but as you can see, we cannot move, and we're gonna fix that. But let's check. So options and credits we didn't end. Join our Discord. If we press it, it's gonna launch us to my YouTube channel that I put link, and if I quit, it's gonna leave the game. So that's all good. Let's go right now and fix the problem that we had when we opened the third person map. So problem is very simple. We need to locate our it's called player controller, but let's see. Sounds like there is no player controller. So what I'm gonna do is create simple player controller. You will have your player controller in your game, but third person template doesn't have one. So gameplay PC, I'm gonna call it like this. If you don't have one, you should definitely create one to handle your UI and stuff in the game. So I'm gonna use gameplay player controller, and if you are using third person character, you might need to change something, and here instead of player controller you need to cast to gameplay player controller, the new one that you made. It's very important. And this is gonna be get player controller, and now everything is gonna work. But we need to open the gameplay PC, the player controller, and instead of that, if you remember, in main menu PC we set it to be set show mouse cursor to true and input mode UI only. So we need to kind of clear that now in the gameplay. So I'm just gonna copy those two, and I'm gonna show mouse cursor to be false, and set input game only here. So now if I go back to the main menu and I press play, sorry, not here. If I press play, I will start game and I will be able to walk again. Very nice. So yeah, this is for the image, but now we can also create the one that has the camera, and it's pretty easy to do so. So this one was for the image, and this one is going to be for the camera. So it's same thing. Fundamentals are same. It's just let's create a simple map. Of course, you're gonna take more time if you want to have the map like this, like main menu in the level, dynamic one. You're gonna take some time in making it nicer, but for now I don't want to waste your time, guys, so I'm gonna do it fast. And the point light, you can put whatever light you want, but for me it's gonna be point light, like this. For this light, to fix it, I'm just gonna make a post-process volume. In the details, I'm gonna set post-process volume to be bound, so it's gonna affect the whole level, and exposure, it's gonna be 1, so it looks nicer, right? Okay, so now to test if this works, I'm simply gonna put shapes here, just like that, simple shapes, and I need to put camera that's gonna be eyes for me. So I'm gonna use this camera for the eyes to see what's basically in the level, and I can change the FOV. If you see, I can put it as I like. I can put like this, doesn't matter. And now if I go to main menu, and if I, for example, delete this image, for me I'm just gonna set it to be opacity 0, but you would delete this image if you don't want image. And now if you press play, as you can see, nothing happens, you're in the floor, but it's simple fix. So select this camera, go to your level blueprint, get your player controller, and from it set view target with blend. Then you would right click, create a reference to camera actor because you clicked on it. So if you lose it, if you don't have it, click again. That's going to be our new view target. Everything else can stay default here. And if you press play now, as you can see, we have this camera view. And if I press standalone and launch it in the full screen, you will see I have the background from the level. Everything works as well. The buttons, start the game. It works. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video.